So welcome back to another video. This is going to be a different kind of video, more like a review. One of the most common questions that we get on social media and from our friends is that how we achieve that film look without actually shooting on film. We get questions like what kind of plugins we use, what kind of softwares we use, how does our color grading workflow look like. So we will sort of break it down to you in this video. So the best way to achieve a film look would be to actually shoot on film. It's really expensive and it's very tedious process. So you have to buy the right film stock, you have to expose it properly, and once the film is exposed, it has to be protected and sealed until it goes to the lab. With a plugin, you can emulate those characteristics that you get by actually shooting on film. Dehancer is a company that makes this plugin called Dehancer Pro. It's a plugin that you can use to emulate film look without actually shooting on film. When you look at footage shot on film, there are some characteristics that immediately pop out. For example, there's film grains, you have halation, you have bloom, there is a slight bit of defocus and blur. It's not really sharp like how you would see the outcome when it's shot on a digital camera. And there is, of course, the gate weave, and depending on the camera that's used to shoot these film stocks, you might also see the overscans and the imprint of film sprocket negatives on the edges of the frame. And yeah, so there are these characteristics that immediately make you think that it's something that's shot on film. You can also have extreme cases where the colors are really dense, and then there's also examples where the colors are very washed out. It's also important to know that emulation, it's not going to increase your resolution. So whatever you have as an input, that will stay. Dehancer reached out to us recently and they asked us to give feedback for one of their latest plugins. And in exchange, we got access to this tool for about 30 days. So this isn't a sponsored video. This is just a honest feedback of what we felt. So let's get into the video. I will switch to another camera angle and then we'll come back to this. Let's take a look at how we actually use this plugin in our editing software. So I'm using DaVinci Resolve Studio version, but I think the plugin also works fine if you have the trial version. Dehancer can be used as a single node in your node structure. It works perfectly fine, but I prefer this kind of a workflow because I want to control the exposure, white balance and contrast outside the Dehancer node, hence this approach. I shot this footage in Scotland using Sony FX3. So the first thing we'll do is convert Sony from Sony S-Log to Rec 709. So I'm converting from Sony S-Log to Rec 709 here. The color space will work under will be the DaVinci white gamut. So Dehancer is working under DaVinci white gamut. So I'll search for Dehancer and we'll insert this plugin into the node. Once you put this plugin in, it has a predefined film look to it. So this is something I don't like. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom and it's better if you collapse all the nodes here. So this is something that they can improve, because most of the people who work with color grading, they would like to start from a clean slate, So I also prefer that way. Input for Dehancer is coming from white gamut, so we'll choose that. For the film profile, I'm going to be choosing Kodak 50D and I'll enable this. For the print, I will be Fujifilm print film and I will enable this. So this is what Dehancer is all about. They have carefully studied all the film stocks that are being used currently in Hollywood, and they have captured those film characteristics accurately and they have put them in this plugin. You have multiple film stocks to choose from, and some of them are also used in photography. So you have a bunch of a lot of film stocks to choose from, and you can be really creative with these things. So what I'll start with is I will start with increasing color density in the print section. Film compression I'll also enable. It gives me details back from the blown out area and the highlights. So I'll increase the color boost here and I'll go back to my primary node and I'm going to increase the gain here. it has that soft kind of a look on your image now. So the next thing I'm going to do is put some grains. Some grain, I think. Yeah, this is fine. Keep it at 10. Emulation, also enable it. Bloom and vignettes. I'll go back to my node structure and I want to play a little bit with the primary windows. Just want to increase the saturation here a bit, reduce the shadows. White balance looks fine. I think contrast also looks fine. I have 4 power grade windows here, and I'm just going to pick these bright colors here, and I'm going to add a bit more of density to them without increasing the brightness. So if you enable channel number 3, it will do the job for you. I have a node for sharpening or blurring the output that you get from Dehancer. That also kind of adds a organic look to your film. Let's take a look at a couple of other shots here. So this is a shot this is what we shot in one of our short films earlier. Shot on Blackmagic 4K with Tokina Cine lens. And just by using a couple of nodes, I have already achieved that really cool vintage look in color. So the first node is converting from Blackmagic to Rec 709s. With Dehancer, I've chosen the Adox color implosion as my profile and then played with a bunch of parameters. So for the black and white look, I just reduced the saturation to 0 and then if you look at my node tree, I have followed the structure that I maintained, color space transform, a node to control your primary parameters, a bunch of power grid windows to pop out certain colors. In this case, I have a lot of colors here, so I'm going to use that. And then Dehancer node coming in to add that film look. And towards the end, you convert your color space from white gamut back to Rec 709. So what is also nice is that the film grain option that you have in the plugin, it is one of the best grain plugins I've seen. They have found a way to organically insert these grains onto your footage, so it doesn't look like the grains are like a overlay. It burns them onto your footage. That is quite well developed by these engineers. So I've used this tool for about a month now, and I really enjoyed creating different looks by playing with these different parameters. It is a really powerful tool to achieve that cinematic film look. If you go to their website, they offer different versions. There is a light version and there's a pro version, and they also have a demo version. So I would definitely recommend the pro version because it has the complete package. It is expensive, but the investment that you'll make, you will get it back very, very soon. If you're someone who's a colorist, or if you're someone who's beginning their career path as a professional grader, then this is one of the most advanced tool that's out there that can emulate the film look accurately. Of course, there are other film emulation tools out there, such as Emulation 3. You have mononodes developed by Stefan. You have Cineprint 16, Filmbox. Yes, and there are plenty other options out there. So I haven't tested Filmbox or Cineprint 16 yet, but maybe that's something for the future. I want to perhaps compare how these plugins, how they differ from each other and which one performs better than the other. And then you have the complete overview. But for now, this plugin remains one of the top choices for us to create that look. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more such video where we break down in more detail on how we did the color grading, then do let us know in the comments and do mention which video you would like to see. But until then, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.